and its mission is to serve Memphis and Shelby County and the surrounding communities by giving monetary donations, self-service to the communities that we proudly serve, relief of and assistance to the poor, the distressed and the underprivileged, lessening the burdens of government, promotions of economic and development, and promotions of social welfare. Now, I just want to say about this organization, it's very near and dear to our hearts here at IBEW. Sister Cornelia Crenshaw, I'm not sure how many of you all knew her, but she was a jewel in the community, and also she was the mother of history. Cornelia Crenshaw also was Mr. Rick Thompson's mentor, and that's where he got all that fight from. It is our intent to be heavily involved in the upcoming MLK 50, the commemoration of Dr. Martin Luther King, to allow everyone to know about the history of Mrs. Cornelia Crenshaw.
That's right. All right.
There are some that are trying to write her out of history. She worked with the sanitation workers in 1968 and served on the committee to bring Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. to Memphis.
Yes, she did.
Cornelia Crenshaw Human Preservation Foundation. We can do better than that. Lady, fight for a lot.
My name is Deborah Stepney, and I am truly delighted to accept and receive this monetary donation on behalf of the Cornelia Crenshaw Human Rights Preservation Foundation.
All right.
Ms. Crenshaw dedicated her life to assisting and promoting positive change for the underserved in our communities. One of her most prized contribution was her convincing Memphis Light, Gas, and Water to start accepting partial payments. So if you or someone you care about ever made a partial payment to Memphis Light, Gas, and Water, I would like for you to just take a moment and commemorate the life of Ms. Crenshaw. Thank you. So again, we say thank you for this. These funds will be used to continue to educate, promote, and preserve the life and legacy of one of America's most unsung heroes.
All right. Amen.
Just want to say a little something about Miss Cornelia Crenshaw, because Miss Crenshaw, I consider her the mother of the civil rights movement here in Memphis. And for those of you that didn't know Miss Crenshaw, she did a lot in this city. What the power that be trying to do is write her out of history. If you notice how they talk about this thing called I Am a Man. They talk about how they make a big deal out of I Am a Man, and they should. But what they ain't telling is Miss Crenshaw is the one who brought that to the sanitation workers. If she had not got involved in the sanitation workers fight at that time in 1968, there would be no I Am a Man. So if you notice, the city of Memphis is making a big deal out of it. They created this I'm a Man Plaza. But if you notice, they never said anything about Miss Cornelia Crenshaw. And the reason they didn't say anything about Miss Crenshaw is because Miss Crenshaw always she always exposed crooked politicians. She always exposed crooked preachers. She always exposed crooked political activists. So they're mad at her even to this day. They're still mad at Miss Cornelia Crenshaw. So it is our responsibility to make sure that they do not write her out of history. And I can assure you that every breath in my body will be used to make sure they do not do it.
That's right.
That Miss Crenshaw's name will go on, her story will be told. If you notice, at her house on Vance, she had the house across the street, and a house and her mother's house. Soon as she died, they tore the house down right quick so they wiped the history out. There is no history anywhere of Miss Crenshaw on Vance Street. But if you go to the courthouse and look up Miss Crenshaw, she got power of attorneys of everybody on that street that she did business for everybody. And she got power of attorney where she did business for everybody on that street to make sure they didn't get screwed. When you go to the Shelby County clerk's office and look up her name, she got power of attorney for everybody. She exposed both black and white. Hey, believe me, if it wasn't for Miss Crenshaw, I would think all white folk were crazy. When I got with Miss Crenshaw, the first thing she told me, she said, "What do you think the problem is?" I said, "These white folk." She said, "I got a hard job, dude. It's on you because you think all white folk the problem. When I get finished with you, you're gonna see what the real problem is." And the real problem is, just think, Memphis is in the worst shape that it's ever been in my history. But we got black leadership. Now, black folk ain't bad. It's just that we got the wrong leadership. That's all that is. We got the wrong leadership. So I'm telling you, when you go to this is why they did not want. This is why you don't hear them talking about Cornelia Crenshaw, because she opened up a lot of people's eyes, including mine. And I intend to. You're gonna hear a whole lot about Miss Cornelia Crenshaw in the coming days, weeks, and months. When they start talking about MLK 50, you can't even talk about Dr. King coming here because without talking about Miss Crenshaw. If you talk about, she the one called Dr. King, and when he came, he rode in her car. They hated her so bad that every time Dr. King came to Memphis, he rode in that white Continental that she had. Now, before she died, she called the Civil Rights Museum and said, "Look here, let me donate you the original car that Dr. King rode in." You know what they said? Thanks, but no thanks. They hated her just that bad. They wouldn't even take the car. So they put 2 Cadillacs over there that had nothing to do with Dr. King at the Civil Rights Museum because they didn't want Miss Crenshaw's car. Now, how do you talk about all this stuff without talking about Miss Crenshaw?
That's right.
And when Dr. King came here, he always stayed at her house. How do you talk about? She was on the committee that headed up the strategy committee that brought him here, but they don't talk about that. You talking about a strong black woman that they trying to write out of history. See, just like then is just like now. If you want to get something done, almost, you got to get with these women because you can't find no man to do nothing. Well, you can't find men, put it that way. But no, you can't find men. But these women will work their butt off. Believe me. But anyway, I go on and on about that. If y'all want to really hear what's going on, what y'all do, y'all tune in to our television show that comes on every Friday from 6 to 7 o'clock, and then tune into our radio show that comes on from 3 to 5, where you hear the real uncut story from Rick Thompson and Bill Hawkins and Pat Epps. It's our show, it's IBEW show, and I tell it just like it is.
What's that station, Rick?
AM 990. AM 990 comes on from 3 to 5, and I tell you, when I get on that radio and go to talking, it be at 3 o'clock. Seems like 5 o'clock. I'm just like, look at the clock. 5 minutes to 5. Man, hold their hand up. 5. Look at the clock. What time go? But anyway, let me just say I appreciate everybody for coming. I wish we could have gave more money. We give this money out we give out this money a minimum of 3 times a year. Wow. This is the last time we give it out for this year because the year is ended. But we'll give it out again in say June. May give it out in March. May give it out and then June, then December. We always gonna give it out in December because we always have to give organization a Christmas present. So we always gonna give it in December. So sometimes we give especially CSA, we believe in paying people utility bills. We think it's just proper to pay people utility bill because we work for the best. You know, a lot of y'all talk about MLGW, but MLGW is the best utility company in the country. Most people haven't lived anywhere else, so you talk about MLGW bill, you say that's a big bill. But when you go live somewhere else, at one service bill is more than MLGW whole bill. And before we leave, I always call the politicians up and let them sell us something. Come on, Patrice. Patrice Robinson is city council. She's a city council. She's on the MLGW committee. So I always let the politicians say something.
Good evening. After you talked about us so bad because we have poor leadership, I don't know if I should say anything. I want to bring greetings from the Memphis City Council to you. We work really hard every day to make sure that our city, we're trying to move it in the right direction. Now we got this big Titanic ship that's hard to turn, but it's not just our responsibility. Just like you are here, it is the whole community's responsibility. And it starts with us working with our children. So I hope and pray that you will pray with me about the pre-K initiative for our children in our community. One other thing I wanted to share with you tonight, MLGW is a jewel in this community. And we need to stop all this negative talk about our jewel in the community. Everywhere I go and talk to people, they have this little saying. You all know what it is. See, that's what I'm talking about. We need to change that narrative and tell people about the real company, the one where most of us in here worked or have worked. And it is a great place to work. We, as employees, gave or still giving our best to the community. And I've never been so proud of any organization that I have been a part of, and especially the IBEW and what they do in the community. I have worked in the community most of my life in not-for-profit organizations and school district and so forth, but to see a union give back to the community like I have seen IBEW 1288, there's none like them. I chaired the United Way campaign for a couple of years. I've never seen such a swell of support. Then we got a president who wasn't that happy about giving to the community, but the union took up the charge. God bless and Merry Christmas.
Mr. Joe Brown, you didn't get away. Come on up here. Come on up here, Mr. Joe Brown.
Come on, go. Harris, come up. I'm gonna give them proper protocol. Senator Harris, you go up and you say what you have to say. I close it out with something.
Come on up, Councilman.
You trying to put me on the spot.
Come on up here, Councilman.
You have to come up, Rick.
Yeah, you do.
I'm with my folks, man. All these my people. Miss Bohanna. Hey, Miss Bohanna. Come on up. I go up.
Come on up here, Councilman. Come on up here, Councilman. Today. You got to come on up here now because these people ain't as patient now because they got the money.
How you doing? Rick Thompson. Good afternoon, everybody. It's an honor and a pleasure to be here tonight, to be with all of my Christian brothers and sisters. And And the thing is that what can I say about an organization that makes a difference?
Amen.
What can I say about an organization that does God's business?
Amen.
You know, believe it or not, you got a lot of politicians here. You got Commissioner Eddie Jones, and you also got, you know, you got Senator Lee Harris. And the thing is that all of us collectively work together. There's nothing if elected officials don't work together. The thing is that it takes organizations like IBEW, Local 1288, Johnny Dawson Charitable Fund, to make things like this happen.
Right.
I mean, I am really here in stature of being grateful about the donations that they have given to your nonprofit organization.
Amen.
That makes a difference.
Yes, sir.
You see, I tell all of you, I listen to union representatives, presidents, members, listen to politicians, I listen to mayors. I've listened to 7 mayors since I've been in the city of Memphis. Presidents, all of them at Memphis Light, Gas, and Water. I probably gave all of them holy hair, except one. I was delighted with Joseph Lee, because he did an excellent job. Now, the thing is, but we're talking tonight about 1288 and the action that they take to help people. There's one thing I can't call. Michael Williams is here, president of MPA. There's one thing that I can say, truthfully, about this organization. They do things that make a difference.
Amen.
And if I'm not mistaken, Jesus Christ was a helper of people. This is what this organization does. I know he got into the format about his Crenshaw. That's how I met him. I was down at the MLGNW administration building, and Cornelia Crenshaw was always mesmerized me. She wore those nice fitted 2-piece blue suits, and she was very distinguished in stature and character. She made a difference. Probably changed my life. I never thought to this day that I would be a politician, an elected official. But I thank God for it, because you only get elected because God wants you elected. You have to be anointed by God to be elected. You have to be anointed by God to even have a union that can be charitable. You got to be anointed by God to do everything that we do.
That's right.
And the thing is, why we're here tonight, there's not another organization that I can think of that would give away a contribution of $90,000. I had to sit there tonight and think about it. This organization makes a difference. And I'm here to say that I am prayerful that God will continue to take the IBEW Johnny Dawson Charitable Fund to reach it to heights that heights can't, to heights even the sky, to the top of the heap. And that's to the top of the sky. To reach, there's no reach that this organization can meet. But Robert Brown has said, and this is for you guys, Rick. So every man and woman to exceed his or her grasp of what is heaven for. Sky's the limit. Continue to do what you do.
Amen.
You're going to be recognized. You're being recognized by God now as you speak. At the same time as you even brought back out about Miss Crenshaw, about I am a man. He's telling you the truth.
That's right.
Believe it or not, Miss Crenshaw, I would say, was anointed to speak on issues in Memphis to make a difference. What was basically going on in this city of Memphis, what was basically going on in our communities. She was ahead of her time. I remember one thing, and I'm going to close. Ms. Crenshaw said, I don't know if you remember this, we were in the administration building, auditorium, of Memphis Light, Gas, and Water. She said that the credit line is going to be longer than the paying line. And I bear witness to God that that's exactly what happened. She had vision to see what was basically going on there. God bless everybody. Have a great Christmas and a happy, prosperous New Year, and have a great with your family and friends. And do this. Pray.
Amen.
Pray. We're in trouble now.
called Commissioner Eddie Jones. Commissioner Eddie Jones, he comes to our, always comes to our dinners. He asked me one day, he said, Rick, you know, we got a grant program down there. Have you ever put in for that grant? I said, I didn't know about that grant. So he said, I'll tell you what, you put in for that grant and I'll take it from there. I put in for the grant and he took it from there. Come on, look.
Thank you, Rick. Good evening, everybody. So, like my counterparts from the other side of the street, I'm not as long-winded as they are. And so, no, I'm not, because I'm going to be real brief and get to the point. And Rick did come down and ask for grant money. And not sure what we gave them.
20,000? You gave us 18,000 last year, and you gave us 25,000 this year.
Okay, there you go. And I tell Rick, continue to come. I continue to work on some of my colleagues to give a little more. And we will continue to give to this organization. You know, for the stewards, the union, the 1288, I can just simply tell you in this way, in thanking you, in the words of Sam and Dave, you didn't have to do it, but you did, and we thank you.
Okay, one more politician. Come on up here, a senator. You know, Lee Harris is running for. This is our state senator that's running for county mayor, Mr. Lee Harris.
I'll try to be real brief, and it's pleased and honored to be here to follow Commissioner Jones and Councilwoman Patrice Robinson, of course, the incomparable Councilman Joe Brown. I was on the city council before the state senate, and Joe Brown taught me early on that you can't be successful in that role unless you're willing to walk with the people. And so those words stuck with me from early on. I'm pleased to be here. I'll be real fast. I want to thank IBEW 1288. They are one of the most active unions in this community by far. Let's give you all a round of applause. And based on what I saw tonight and what I ate, this is also one of the most well-fed in Shelby County. But seriously, I'm so thankful for all that you do and your investment in the community. We know that the Shelby County, Memphis area is one of the poorest areas in the country. About 30% of us live in poverty. Almost half of our kids live in poverty. And when we have those kind of challenges, it takes investment, the kind of investment that you all are making tonight. So I appreciate everything that you all are doing. Thank you for inviting me. And I said I was going to keep it brief. So God bless and Merry Christmas. Thank you very much.
All right, I would be remiss if I didn't call Mike Williams up here. Come on up here, Mike Williams. He's the president of the Memphis Folk Association. Come on up here, Mike. Come on up here, Mike. He do the same thing I do. And of course, Mike Williams, when he saw what IBEW was doing, he called me and said, look at here, we want to start us a charitable foundation. And of course, Mike Williams and them started them a charitable foundation, just like IBEW. I bet a lot of y'all didn't know that, did you? Go ahead, Mike.
Good evening. Thank you so much. It's always indeed a pleasure to come out here to IBEW. I learned a lot from Rick and this organization. He started a radio show. I started a radio show. He got a television show. I got a television show. He started a foundation. I started a foundation. Because I did learn that you have to have a vested interest in this community. That's right. But see, a lot of people tend to forget that we are the community. That's right. We're of the community. We're products of the community. And I know oftentimes that gets lost in the translation. He's the police, but I grew up in North Memphis, went to Grant Elementary School, all right. Went to Caldwell, went to Manassas, went to Frazier, went to Memphis State. But this organization is doing a whole lot in this community. It's touching a lot of lives. It's touching people on a daily basis. And for those of you that are given to this organization, you're doing a wonderful thing. Now, talk about them politicians. Can I talk about the politicians for a minute? Because you know I'm long-winded. No, I don't want to beat anybody down. That's not it. But we got to get true about what's going on in this city. We have to take responsibility for the things that have occurred in this city. A lot of things have happened because we have turned a blind eye. We don't have a lost generation. We have a left generation. Some of us have become too comfortable. And we've risen to levels of success, but we forgot where we came from. We forgot those that we stood on the backs of those to get there. We got to get back to the basics in this city. And as a matter of fact, I know they're having this tonight, but we're having a play for our foundation. It's going to be Friday night, Saturday night, and Sunday night. It's going to be at the Evergreen Theater. Tickets are selling like hotcakes. We're being blessed all over the place. And we're going to help one of the organizations that Rick and them already helped, which is Links. Ladies in Need Can Survive, out in Fraser community. It's a women's shelter, and we want to give back to them because we want to, and the play actually highlights domestic violence. So if you have an opportunity, please support. The tickets are $40, $65 for VIP, come with food and beverages. And Friday night is 7 o'clock, Saturday night is 6 o'clock, and Sunday is 4 o'clock. And for some reason, Sunday is almost sold out. And my wife is actually the writer and producer of the play. So thank you so much, and it's definitely always good to be here.
Lastly, I have one more person to talk, and then I'm going to end this thing for the night. Because of Ms. Crenshaw opening my mind up the way she did, she made me understand that race does nothing but handicap you. You got to work with people that will work with you, whether they be black, white, woman, man, don't matter. So therefore, the last person I'm gonna call is very dear to me, Miss Bohanna.
Yep.
Come on up here and say one word, and then we can end this. It's just that to tell everybody Merry Christmas, Happy New Year. Miss Bohanna is the smart meter woman.
I certainly didn't know I'd be speaking with this group of people tonight, but Mr. Rick Thompson is an exceptional leader, an exceptional man. He's been incredible in teaching me what Ms. Crenshaw taught him, and I still have about 100 years to catch up on what that woman has done for this community. And I'm going to be around as long as Mr. Thompson is teaching from Ms. Crenshaw's legacy. And she did do a tremendous service for this community. And but for IBEW and this smart meter problem that we have, I would not have met so many dear people across Memphis and Shelby County. And I just appreciate fellowshipping and knowing that I'm among Christians when in this community right here. And I just appreciate everybody that's here. And I want to, I'll be at the back door so I can give you a smart meter flyer. Make sure you've got one, okay? And God bless you and have a great Merry Christmas and a wonderful, prosperous New Year. And thank you and God bless.
Believe me, when I met Miss Bohanna, believe me, she's the hardest working woman I ever seen in my life. You know, when I used to do this work, I used to eat, sleep, and